All right, but buddy, we're here to avoid DMCA takedowns by the sound of my hands rubbing together. Hopefully, we don't get a strike from Birdman. All right,
All right.
welcome to Granblue Radio number 200. Uh, Normally we'd celebrate 200 as a big landmark, but there's nothing happening in GBF this week, really,
The United fights tomorrow. Have fun. Anyways,
and nothing really changes in Unite and Fight. That you just sort of
no.
do it, you take the rewards, and you move on with your life. And then like we had a side story added. Um, did you go back into A Thousand Reasons and play
I have not
survival
went
mode?
back here yet.
Grand Sky Rumble is still it's a little bit of a tedious mode, and the rewards for it, unless you are a new player, are not very cool because it gives you the kind of ticket. Let's go claim this ticket right now. That looks for a missing piece of your team. So it tries to find you a melee character that you don't have, but it rolls for rarity before it rolls for character. So
So more likely you're gonna get rare.
an R Codex. R Codex, baby. I'm ready. Yep, there it is.
All right then.
Oh, into the pile it goes. Anyway, um, so I also didn't really get a giveaway ready because I didn't want to spring it on people. We'll be doing a code giveaway next week instead. Um, so just write this down. Let people know. November 19th, I'm going to be doing a GBF code giveaway. The
You
codes
should
that
probably tweet that out later.
I already have, um, but the codes that I do have sitting around are I have a 10 Dama Crystal one from Granblue Fantasy Fest, and I believe I have at least one SSR ticket uh, to give away from the art books. So got those.
Those are nice actually. So
Anyway, that'll be for next week. That'll be for episode number 201. That'll be the start of the new season. We'll call it that, because that'll be when we have a lot more to talk about. This week, we're just going to sort of take what little time we have, because normally you would be doing this kind of thing in December, but GBF's December is so freaking busy, we usually don't have time to do it.
yeah, and usually we're in Japan during that time,
Also true, usually we miss out on doing like 3 weeks of Granblue Radio because we're actually in Japan.
and then doing holiday stuff afterwards.
Yeah, and then it's like Christmas and New Year's. So, so really, uh, November is our opportunity to sort of look back at the year as it's gone. So, um, I was talking to you before this started, but you know what? We should probably do our standard intros. Welcome to Granblue Radio number 200. This is Vibrating Sheep. You can find me on Granblue_EN. With me, as always, to bounce ideas off of on the other side of the line. This is
Hi, this is DJ as always.
all right. Anyway, so this year has like gone by really slowly and really quickly at the same time. I mean, a lot of features that they promised early in the year ran into this global pandemic and then
Mm-hmm.
were delayed a bit. So, when we're talking about things that have happened this year, like we're going to mostly just talk about we're not going to talk about like quality of life changes. We're going to talk about like stuff that affects how you play this game. Um, and so we're kind of just going to go element by element through the whole thing and just sort of see what 2020 has done to each of these elements. How about that? Let's do that. You ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Uh, we'll start. We're going to start with fire, and we're going to start with the beginning of the year, and that was when Zeta got her up, and
Correct. That was during Spaghetti Syndrome.
that was Spaghetti Syndrome, and holy cow, she changed how things happen in fire.
She
Like,
she made Fire Spear such more solid.
like you just look back at this kit, and this kit is pretty future proof too, because she has a double dispel, double delay. She does assassin attacks whenever she has the cooldown up.
She literally can do most of the Lucy trial on her own.
Yeah, before Zeta got her uncap in Lucilius, you had to have like exactly Anila Tien and Athena with like a dispel summon. You just didn't have enough dispels, and then they 5-starred Rakam, and you could bring in Rakam, but now
Oh
you
yeah,
just
because
bring Zeta.
duration.
Yeah, now you just bring Zeta. She made things so much easier. It was great. It was awesome.
It was pretty great. I started actually doing Lucy runs as fire.
Do you remember against Elil also? Um, like your Elil times during Unite and Fight got shorter depending on when Zeta hit double dispel. If
Oh yeah,
if
during
you
your
were
full auto.
if you were full autoing, it was hilarious
Yeah.
actually. It's like if they actually had to design Elil around Zeta double dispelling things. So they're like, 3 buffs, 3.
Sometimes it all dodged. It was fun. It wasn't fun when it all dodged.
But anyway, so that was a huge glow up. And then the next character that they released for Fire that changed the way things play, because I mean I don't count Summertina. Summertina's like a convenient character, and she's really really good against Echidna now, but she's not really going to change anything. However, a character who does change things came out in March. So tell me about the Mugen experience.
Well, there are two plays to play him. One of them is you play buffer Mugen, and he just gives you permanent buffs for your entire team. You hope he rolls different buffs every time, but they just never fall off. And the other situation is that you pair him with Uisis, who also came out that year, and he goes berserk immediately, and he blocks out and comes back at the end of the fight.
Yeah, Uesis is kind of on the border of 2019, 2020, so I kind of didn't put her in here, but I probably should have because she really did change a lot by existing, really.
Also, her weapon got the uncap that say like in February,
Hmm.
and that weapon's pretty good at uncapped.
And then, so I don't have Reinhardt Czar, but he came out in April, and he also changed a few things about how Fire plays.
I also still want them to go back with Merglace and Gomentane and give what they gave Reinhardt's art weapon to those.
I mean, yeah, yeah. As somebody who has like 3 Merglaces, is it 3 or is it 2? I think it's 2, and I'm afraid of using the third. It's
I
just
have
like
three
it's bad.
Gomentanes.
You're just like, oh, I feel
Because
so
what it gives
sad.
you, it gives crit, doesn't it? For Reinhardt's art.
Uh, yes, it's actually used in the full crit builds for Agni.
Yeah.
Like, there are something like 5 different ways to give yourself 100% crit with depending on what weapons you're using. Because you have like the Eke method. Then there's some sort of mix of Gangsta Knives, Purifying Thunderbolts, Benetias, and Reinhardt Zarfists, whose name I can't remember right now. And you can just like shuffle. You can sort of mix them up together, throw them in the air, and whatever comes down gives you full crit.
Fist of Destruction.
Sure.
That's the Reinhardt's art fist.
Hmm. And like it's given Fire so much flexibility. There's other things that have actually given that flexibility over to Magnifier also. We'll get to that in a second. But like Reinhardt Czar mostly does the big damage. Um, People have used him to be able to skip entire triggers just by countering things at the right time. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
funny. But mostly Reinhardt Czar was much more about like being a deserved uh, character who's been around for a long time. He's been popular for a long time, and he didn't get a character until April. And it's like, oh, this character's really good, awesome. Um, let's see. So the month after Reinhardt Czar was the Aoidos uncap, and the Aoidos uncap is something that we're still using, and like that one, you don't use him with Zeta really. You use him with where is that?
With Antheria.
With Antheria,
After
and
her change.
yeah, if you have Mugen, then you use Mugen in this spot. If you don't, you can use whoever. But This is another one that like fundamentally changed how you can approach teammate building in Fire, where you're just like, oh, we start with a harp character and Enthuria. Okay.
Literally, the only thing you have to worry about is if the boss is able to dispel you.
And even
It,
then, like, it has to dispel multiple times.
well, no, it has to try to dispel your characters once in order to get rid of your hype.
Right, but then it builds back up again.
You
It,
might
it
be dead during that time sometimes. Sometimes, only
I
sometimes.
guess that's fair.
Like I used this team during against Grimnir because he doesn't dispel at all,
Hmm.
and even I could just run with zero debuffs and my entire team could just be fine.
That's fair. Because that defense up that he gives passively is also crazy. Well, not passively, it requires height, but
With
still.
hype.
Uh, so later on with Satyr, so there was this really funny trend with Fire this year because you remember when Fire had like no healing and its utility was just like this long list of characters with hostility up.
Yeah, yeah.
This year it got Satyr, Ilnot, and Summertina, all of whom are like there to deal with debuffs essentially. Like Ilnot delays and has other things too, but they're just pure utility characters. And it's like, oh, it's nice we have those, and not all of them are are limited.
That's the big part.
Like Summertina, not everybody has. She's once again like very, very quality of life, but
She's very helpful though because her heal is not on a green button.
true. Satyr heals passively just from um what is she? How does she mechanically do it again? She reacts to enemy CAs, was it?
When enemy CAs activates instant heart, which is her heal.
Right. And so she's also a full auto friendly healer. It's pretty cool. There's just so many different things that you can slot in now to do similar jobs in Fire instead of just having Fire be full of like nothing but people who hit hard and then fear.
Oh yeah, it's pretty nice. It's
And
pretty nice.
it's pretty nice. And then of course, the latest character who changed how you play Fire is Mim Lemel, where you just like,
You cast her abilities at the beginning, and she just goes off because she can't do anything else other than attack.
yeah, yeah, she just goes nuts. But she also like makes your one turns a lot faster, and she's designed to work with that Alanon character. So that's character wise. Things that changed for Fire significantly though this year. Um, when they gave Colossus the 5-star, that actually changed a lot about how you can build Magna, because previously Magna was really stuck. Um, let's go into the GBF handbook and look at old Magna. It's pretty sad. Let's go. Let's see here. Equipment templates, Fire, and let's go to Colossus Omega 3. So this used to be what Fire had. It's like Shiva swords, Colocanes. The Rise of the Beast's gun was definitely an improvement. You could get that, and then you're just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Because Shiva sword is good for survival because it has hit points, but all of this is just very bland, just attack up, and you're like, oh, you got a little bit of cap up on the Rise of the Beast gun, but like,
Wasn't like breaking anything.
yeah, a lot of this was pretty sad. But now
Oh
with
man, I see one of them said the love life bag
oh
as the
oh
EX
yeah, it's
modifier.
mhm mhm it's bad. Um, let's see here. So both have access to this now because of the 5-star Colossus. So before you had to dedicate 5 slots to Ekesax, and 5 slots to Ekesax is actually too many.
Yeah, I actually ran that grid for a long time.
Now you cut it down to 4. And then you have things like the progression fire weapon, which helps double Colossus out a whole ton. It's a huge difference actually. That progression weapon. You,
Yeah, I use that in the other progression weapons in other grids, and it's really nice.
yeah, and you run double colo, and you cut down on the number of slots that you have to dedicate to these things, and you have a lot more freedom. You just put in something like um, the astral axe. The astral axe being the thing that's new to this year, but it's like it rewards you for triple attacking, and you can actually try and find more ways to triple attack these days. It's nice. So fire's changed a lot. Like fire has changed a whole lot this year.
All for the better.
Yeah, I mean fire also got its garrison weapon this year, so you can actually play defensive fire. So thanks Uisis. Thanks for giving us defensive fire on a very
There's
offensive
also another
character.
person. It was a limited character who also gave you the garrison.
Which one?
Skazaha.
Oh yeah,
That was also this year.
Valentine Scatha, huh? Another character who heals you on full auto. Also, never full auto with Fire Scatha, by the way. Valentine Scatha is a garbage full auto character because she kills
Nah,
you.
I need to go low health, man.
Oh boy. I mean, if you insist on just murdering yourself and then get
To heal it back.
trying to heal it back with your giant chunks of HP that she can't get all of at once, like she costs you a percentage of your HP, and she heals back a set amount of your HP. It's a bad trade. It's a bad trade, DJ.
Oh, I know. I've died to it before.
Don't
I'll still say I'll do it.
don't full auto with that character, friends. Just don't do it. She's a great character. She's fun. She also does a lot of those things that we talked about that Fire was missing. She has a dispel. She has a clarity. But
Something else that came out this year though
mhm.
is the draconic weapons.
Yeah, and I was actually going to talk about that because Fire came up big in that draconic weapon lottery.
Remember when we used to say fire has no harps? The only
Fire's
harp you could
previous
get,
Fire's previous harp was
the one that set you on fire,
yeah, it was the one from Rise of the Beast that sets you on fire. Now Fire's harp heals you for so much. You get
gives you refresh, it has passive defense up.
like Fire survival is crazy to the point where let me see if I have that still. Oh, there it is. So there are multiple videos of people full autoing Echidna, the Proud Plus Pride of the Ascendant, because just like this thing is ridiculously good at keeping you alive. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, it has mirror image too.
Has mirror image on you and it refreshes you for so much. It's so good. Like the Mugen Harp is fine and all, but like this thing is available to everybody, and it just
Anyone
keeps
can get this.
it keeps you it keeps you alive forever, forever, ever,
Forever, forever, ever.
forever, ever.
So yeah, they came up on that department.
Like fire can live now. It's great. Like Aoidos gives it defense. Like this gives it this Draconic Harp gives it defense. Big winner. Big winner. Fire. Anything else to say about fire?
I'm scrolling through the wiki right now, and I don't think anything significant.
I think we've covered most of it. So we talked about fire changing a lot. So let's go talk about water. So chronologically, this is what
Okay.
changed in water. All right. So Leisha released in February, and she gave water another source of reusable debuffing. When for all of the things that Fiora does do, and that character gets better in hard content, he doesn't do stacking minus attack, stacking minus defense, which is required for the hard raids now, and he
Because
can't
everything just resists the normal miserable mist.
and um he can't do it all in the same turn unless you get very lucky. So Leisha changed a few things if you have her, but she didn't really change that much because you nowadays if you need that stuff from your water team, you bring Maria Teresa, who does that. However,
Yeah.
so think about it this way. DJ. So Water's gotten 3 uncaps this year. So Vayne was uncapped in March.
Correct.
He's a strong boy. He's a great tank. People bring him to Lucilius to eat Paradise Lost. Like he was actually kind of a king on full auto, surprisingly. But
You can't die.
he did a lot of work in Unite and Fight. Then they uncapped Romeo recently, and he's also a tank.
But he's also a king.
And then they uncapped Izmir just now. Well, not just now. They uncapped her last month, and like she's very strong. She's very strong in sword, except that they gave her. I don't know why they gave her the agency they gave her.
Oh. Oh.
I still don't know why. Wait, they didn't give her one. I still
No,
don't
they
know why
didn't.
Romeo
She's still
got it.
sword.
She's still
Yes,
sword.
Romeo
She's
got
still sword.
staff.
Romeo got staff. I'm sorry.
Romeo got staff so he could be with Juliet.
Romeo got staff because I don't know why, man.
Because you need to be, if you're a crest character, you need to be a water staff.
I remember who I was talking about. I remember why I was wondering if this tank had this proficiency. It's Halloween Rosetta.
Oh yeah, I have this
She's
character
staff.
too. I sparked her.
I got her by accident. But like, why is this character staff? Like, so we talk about all these things, but like, water really hasn't changed much. Like, when they so with the 5-star change for Leviathan, you can make a grid with Oberons now that are guaranteed crits, but it suffers a lot from having worse numbers than Ekesax. Like a lot.
Your attack modifier is small, if I remember correctly, isn't it? It's small HP, small attack, and small crits.
Let's see if I can find one in my. Here we go, buddy. Here's Oberon. Small attack, small HP, medium double attack, medium crit.
Oh, it's medium crit. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not so bad, but it doesn't have enmity, so it doesn't scale with difficulty. Like, you compare it to this thing, and it's like the double attack is actually a bad trade for enmity. Um, like, we've got the like the new toys that Water got. So we've got the dishwasher. That really doesn't change that much because
It doesn't help Magna that much.
it's basically another Oberon.
The only thing that helped Water really was the fact that it's 140 now.
And then like their progression weapon. I mean, it's fine,
That's just standard across the board.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
but not very many people are running double Leviathan because like we have friends who run this Oberon crit grid, and they're just like, unless you're getting the crap beaten out of you, then it's just sad.
And then sometimes we have our water. Sometimes if someone tries to play water, in Lucy, they sometimes fail their water trial.
Yeah, because it's not like this thing like the thing is that unless you're getting beaten up, right? Like the with Ekesax, when you get beaten up, you start doing more damage. With Oberons, you just live through it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's it. You just live.
And here's the thing, Ekisex has just a large amount of HP pool anyway, so I don't think it really traded off that much.
Yeah, and I mean, so Water did get a really good astral weapon. This Fateless right here. It's this one. All of these swords look the same. Like that's good. Uh,
I mean,
attack
to be
damage
fair, we
cap
could just
up.
say that all the astral
Astrals.
weapons are good.
Yeah.
So,
The problem is that Water kind of lost when it came to the Draconic weapon.
oh, you mean the axe?
Isn't it a staff? Hold on.
It's an axe.
The Draconic isn't. Hold on. Draconic. I haven't even bought this thing. The Buster.
Correct.
CA. Boost to MC's crit rate. Like, why? Who wants this?
If you need a main-handed axe,
but you can already main hand an axe. Like we were talking about this. It's
Yeah,
so
no.
weapon wise, water hasn't gotten anything. Like character wise, water hasn't changed very much except for having some really good uncaps. But like,
The problem, one thing though, is that in hard content, you the shell that they left behind of Catalina and
Lily,
Lily is still really strong.
yeah, and then Maria Theresa is also incredibly strong, and like I don't know, water hasn't changed this year basically. Like it's gotten a couple of cool uncaps, but the toys that it's gotten are pretty sad compared to other characters' toys. You're still either reliant on like the staff shell or the um the staff shell or the crit shell basically. Like you have to be critting with Cagliostro essentially.
Yeah, and if we go to like new characters, you don't really see anyone writing home about most of the new water characters.
Hey, Water Sturm is cool, but
She's cool, but
she wasn't built to change what water does. Kolulu is neat. I like Kolulu actually. I will never speak ill of my well-fed
uh,
daughter. She is now a
um,
well-fed daughter.
yeah, that was a pretty good event.
Yeah, but like I've played with the Maria Theresa Kolulu shell, and I do it with Enmity, and it's just like so you get some turns of being superpowered, and then you go back to normal, and you're like, oh, I still have a lot of stamina in this grid, and so you just sort of look back and you go, maybe I should just stick to crit.
Yeah, so for me, my water grid didn't change.
My water grid is waiting for me to roll Folia before it changes. Then I'll just it's like, guess what? I'm a crit person now. I've joined the ranks of the crit people. But there's really nothing else. Like, I mean, Meteora gave Enmity Garrison. That's a thing.
Oh, this is the one thing I changed. I got a Gottfried. Yeah, that was it. So now it's in my one turn stuff.
hmm So that's kind of where water is. Like, the Draconic weapon didn't do anything for it. Its astral weapon. The problem with its astral weapon is that it requires one foe attacks, and you're not necessarily capping on those one foe attacks unless you're running crit. So it goes back to
Yeah,
the original problem. And then there's like the Wamdis weapon. The Wamdis weapon's good, but once again, it's like here's crit. You should go crit. And so it didn't change anything. It just made something that existed a little bit better.
all right, what's the next element we want to talk about then?
Um, let's see. Oh yeah, water did get the bow from Phronesis, which means you can do two garrison weapons in Anubis grid. Like I love water. The water element is one of my favorites to play. But like in terms of grid and flexibility, like you're not flexible. You end up coming back to the same few characters and just bowling through things by sheer force of survival.
Yeah.
All right, next in the list we have Earth. So
Oh man.
Earth went crazy this year. Like it was already crazy because of last year we had Summer Alex and last year they had Lobelia. Um,
Let's start with the first thing that we got was the Mahir upgrade.
the chicken uncap was pretty nuts. Like so here's my problem with the Mahira upgrade. There's nothing wrong with Mahira herself, but if we scroll through just like my teams that I've made in Earth, it's like all right, Eternal, Christmas character, Evoker. Uh, someone who got a 5-star this year, Christmas character, Zodiac, limited Zodiac, limited Zodiac. Oh, someone who came out this year. There we go. Not regular gotcha character. We're at two of them now. Limited. Limited.
Yeah, that's the
Wait, we
problem
got
of
to a third one.
Earth.
We got to a third one. We have Dante right here.
How often use Dante?
I use him actually fairly often because
Okay, fair.
he's better at full auto than a lot of characters that are fist. Like
That's fair. That's fair.
if I was playing manually, this spot would be Sora's, but I love Dante. But like anyway, so this is gonna be a theme that we beat uh we come back to. I mean, I was gonna say beat into the ground, but it's kind of important to say. Uh, like chicken was such a huge thing. Like Earth was having problems with the sustainability outside of just like just forever having Alex's shield up. Um,
So let's make a pot. Let's
let's
make a
just
blue
make
pot.
let's make a blue pot. Let's have Veil passively that comes back passively from just the act of hitting things.
Let's make it so that that one resource that's supposed to build up doesn't go away when you use her skill one.
Not just that, like V2 made her better. She became more important in V2. Like her ability to give you multi attack and chaser is great when you're trying to get number of hits or trying to get um, the damage threshold or something like that.
Oh yeah, and definitely.
Like it's it's actually wild just how good this character is.
Skill two gets DATA down. That's pretty good,
Yeah,
especially in
yeah.
hard content.
In hard content, it gets better. She's just wild. Um, let's see. Then Earth got Leona in June. I don't have Leona, so I don't know actually what she changed.
I don't know anything either.
I,
She's favors crit though, if I remember
she does favor
correctly.
crit, and her weapon is what allowed Earth to have um, reliable and strong permanent, like 100% crit with double Titan.
It wasn't also a progression weapon too.
Oh wait, I think the weapon is progression, and she. It is it. Wait, hold on. Let me look this up again. Yahada's spear, because
I'm pretty
once.
sure it was progression.
Whoop, hold on. Yahada Naginata. It is progression and attack in HP. It's the
So progression's
CA that
pretty
gives
good
crit.
though.
It's the CA that gives crit. All right. I always get that mixed up. So it still favored double Titan, something that hadn't been in favor for a while because people Titan Gorilla a lot. It's it's Alia that was the big two. Thank you for the reminder.
We'll get to that character later.
Oh my god, that character. But anyway, so Leona's super strong. Like when we were doing Earth Unite and Fight, a lot of these videos that were doing like insane damage with Narmea had Leona on them too. But really, the core of that was just Narmea right here. This girl
That
right
character
here.
is like busted.
Yeah, this character's not okay.
They proved this.
uh, anyway, so next up, let's see here. So after Leona was the Sora's uncap. The Sora's uncap was pretty necessary because we were talking about this at the time, where it's like this finally is a character who's really good uh, for multiple reasons, does tons of damage, and is not limited.
And one of the things that the reason you use stories like in the current day was because you can actually do the Violet Knight trial.
Yeah, the very last part of Pride of the Ascendant with Violet Knight, where your individual hits are capped at a certain amount of damage until you do a certain number of hits. Yeah, Sora's
Yeah,
just clears that on his own. Uh, but yeah, so
he got a glow up, lot more damage. Able to re put his buttons off cooldown and cast twice.
and once he was already good for
Lobelia loves
V2.
this.
By the way, he was already good for V2, and he just got even better for V2. It's
Oh yeah,
pretty silly what he does to Wamdis
oh yeah, cleared the 30 hit trial.
without even like hitting all of his buttons. Yeah, he still has a bunch of buttons to spare by the time that trial's over, or that Omen
Yeah,
is done. All right, so that was the Sora's uncap. So that's, by the way, one of the only things on this list that is not a limited character. Because then we get to the Golden Knight. So The Golden Knight is where I was talking about, where she her existence and her weapon allowed the full crit. So I'm gonna correct that. But like, I mean, I love this character just because there's a lot of reasons I love this character, but like this combination with Eugen is another of those things. Like at the time, we're just like that's dumb, and it's still
It's
dumb. It's just I don't know.
it's
It's
one of those like you told me about like whole magic stuff where things from the past and they combine with things of the now, and somehow things get stupid.
yeah, yeah. You can't test for everything necessarily, and see people will find things like this. They haven't done anything to it yet, and Eugen still hasn't gotten a 5 star yet. So it's kind of scary what'll happen after this, because like this character is crazy good, and she does a lot, and we're barely like scraping the surface with her because just unlike Kaim, she spends her time in the front line, and this button right here has a lot of potential, and they just have to keep designing around it for the rest of this. I'm still going to use her to
Also, you
copy
cannot
Zelbaz.
the enemies cannot debuff her. I mean, not debuff her. They can't
They can't
dispel
dispel
her,
her. Yeah.
which is pretty big.
Well, they've already started working around that by
By speeding up
having
time.
yeah, by having a lot of time speed ups. Like Beelzebub does this to you where he's just like, "Ah, I see that you have these buffs. I would like them to be 5 turns shorter now." And then Geisenborger just falls over dead. So they started doing a lot of time magic now to get around this. And then to counter this, like characters like Satyr also have time magic to shorten debuff timers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't know that she copies auto ignition? She doesn't just copy auto ignition. She extends it. She what was the trial that we did again? It was like 8 turns in a row, 9 turns, if not more.
It was a lot of turns in a
It was a
row
lot of turns in a
of
row.
just auto ogi.
It's
Because one of the things that happens is that when she CAs, if she has a certain amount of buffs, she double CAs, and her CA removes turns off her cooldowns.
and then you hit Great Horizon, and then Sword and Flux
Yes, and
copies Great Horizon,
one of the main things about Sword and Flux is that it copies the last button that was pressed ever.
and so you just don't press anything between Great Horizon and Sword and Flux, and then you press Sword and Flux, and then you press all of your other buttons, and then you
No,
just
you press all the other buttons and then Sword and Flux.
no, no, other way around. You
No, I'm right.
no, you have to hit Great Horizon and then Sword and Flux.
No, I'm talking about you said hit Sword Great Horizon. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I've done this loop enough times that I remember bad things that happen
I do it
every
in
time I
Europa.
press something after Great Horizon.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
But yeah, but then again, like what we're gonna return to this topic. Like all of these things that we talk about, other than Sora's, are based on limited characters.
Great characters.
On the plus side, Diantha's a good character who came out at the same time as Golden Knight. She works really well with the Golden Knight.
Really well with Ladiva.
Yeah, Ladiva's a great character. So Ladiva is one of those characters. I actually do finally have Ladiva, and she's a great character who's not limited. So it's like, all right, Ladiva, Dante, Diantha, Sora's,
You use Pengi to kill herself.
or to triple attack on Luchador turns.
Well, that's much. That's the utility of Pengi because she's eventually gonna die.
Yeah, like that's what
Yeah,
I'm using
there's no
Mireille and Rosette,
workaround.
Mireille and Rosette with uh in the Pengy spot because they force triple attack. But
Uh,
if I had
yeah,
Pengy, they'd be in this slot. She'd be in the slot too. But
yeah.
like,
Remember you were talking about your what was it Neptune fights?
yeah, my one turn Neptune. This is my one turn Neptune team right here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so around 2020 we both switched to Singleton Magna, right?
Yep.
It's
And
pretty good.
the new tools that Earth got. So The progression weapon, good. Everything got the same progression weapon, so that's fine. Um, Surprisingly, their draconic weapon also amazing.
Bow. There's no good Earth bows other than one that only goes to S level 10 for EX modifier.
And then we were just like, man, why would you main hand a bow though? And then they made Robin Hood after that. It's like, okay, we're good now. This is great.
This
Thank you.
was ridiculous.
So bow is the other winner when it came to the draconic weapon lottery. Uh, I consider them to be a loser when it comes to the M2 edition lottery because that weapon is very situational compared to other ones. And then again, Earth Magna has been in a very good spot for a long time. So I think we can live with it, given that this thing is what enmity and multi entrium. It's like all right, I guess we're bringing this to really hard content.
Tritium's nice when it's their only when it's your only multi attack source. I guess. I guess. I have it anyway, so
I mean, I'm building it. It's just there. I'm slowly building a Titan crit if I ever just switch to Titan for whatever reason. But I'm pretty happy with being Magna. Magna
yeah.
got
We both have Kaim in the back row chilling
yeah, like Magna Magna Earth is strong. It's it's in a really
on the
good spot.
cap. I'm literally hitting cap
Yeah, and
on the
pushing
drag
cap and
fight.
breaking cap. But yeah, and then there's Mireille, who is really good at short fights, like really good at short fights. But yeah, when it comes to Earth, like I'm really hopeful for the Siegfried rebalance for being a character who can actually like be an acceptable replacement for all of these busted limiteds.
I already said last time we talked about Siegfried, they didn't give him real passives.
Yeah. All right, we're moving on from Earth. So there is one element that changed less than water this year, DJ, and it's wind.
All right, let's see here. What happened when beginning of the year Yoda came out. Anyways,
I like Yoda. He's cool. It's just he doesn't do anything new. He does Yoda things. So the number one change that Wind got this year is that Tiamat got her 5-star, and that's actually a really good 5-star.
the Tiamat you already used because she had Veil, if I'm correctly, right?
You didn't really use her before
I
this.
mean, yeah.
You really didn't. After this, she became a crest character. She um, gives you she lets you take out the seraphic weapon if you want to.
Oh
She
yeah, because of her passive
she
upgrade.
has in long fights supercell, which actually is the effect of Raphael summon. She has a full auto friendly heal that ramps up. Like this character's been really good for Wind, really good.
And you finished making mine. She's at 99 right now.
Yeah, but then you look at this like, all right, Valentine's Grimnir. Valentine's Grimnir definitely changed a lot of things. This character mostly changed the meta in terms of like you could build around something other than Seaphon with Grimnir. Like you could actually do a lot of like Belial based or Ewiar's Beak things. Ewiar's Beak is a fun one.
Especially after they change how V2 fights worked,
Hmm.
where you can actually now cast his ability and still defend with him.
Yeah, I hated this character in Galleon before V2.1. V2.1, I'm like, okay, this character's awesome. I don't use him in Galleon anymore because there's other things that I do in Galleon now. But like, I love the fact that it works now. This
But
is
I
my
still use him in that fight.
this
I
is my
love.
Galleon team. I found specifically for Galleon that I had too much trouble hitting the 15 million without somebody who does damage on CA. So it's like, oh, he actually had a drawback in that fight.
Yeah, So instead, you're mosh pitting for your side because you're taking CAs on turn based anyways.
Hmm. So anyway, um, like Valentine's Grimnir did change some things. This character's great. So after that is Albert, and I'm actually kind of disappointed with Albert after I've played with him for a while.
You quadruple attacks, that's cool, I guess.
It's unique,
Yeah, it's
somewhat,
definitely unique for wind.
but I'd rather non-tuple attack with Grimnir over here, with the way that his attacks work.
Always triple attacks and always does 2 extra hits
Hmm.
per attack.
And those extra hits get their own chaser, by the way.
Yeah, and also affected by supplemental damage.
Hmm. Oh, supplemental damage. Can we talk about this Emerald Covenant over here?
How about that?
It's very good. They made it basically for him, but a lot of new win characters do those multiple hits as opposed to being very, very reliant on Seaphon like they used to be. But yeah, like Win, other than Tiamat 5 star hasn't changed at all this year. Like the
You
thing
got
that
fun
people
tools. You
the
got some fun tools,
yeah,
not like hard content tools though.
like
Like you
their
got a Neela.
Anila's fun. Okay, but like
She's fun.
their Astral is single attack cap. And it's like okay, it's nice because Magna was capping the entire time anyway. Um, oh hey, the Crozier isn't in this grid. Oh well. Let's talk about the Grimnir Spoon. The Grimnir Spoon's been great for Magna.
Full auto Galleon. That's pretty good.
Yeah, actually, after the Magna 5 star stuff, a lot of Zephyrus players were just like, oh, maybe I go back to being Magna. Magna seems better now, except for its CAs. So Win Magna's in a great place, but yeah, it really hasn't changed that much this year. Like Valentine's Grimnir, if you have him, Tiamat goes into a lot of teams now.
Sarah's
Cetera,
cool.
Cetera's cool. She's mostly for like combo videos, but she's fun if you use her.
You got fun tools, not like necessarily useful tools.
Not game changers. Ewiar's Beak is the closest thing to a game changer that Wind got this year. This
Like
thing's
you pair
fun.
that to Terra and you have fun.
Have you seen the one size fits all Arcarum um, grid where it's just like
Oh, the
four
age
Ewiar's
grid.
Beaks?
Yeah,
Normally one Ewiar's Beak is enough, but you use four because it's based on the max HP of the enemy. And so if the enemy doesn't have that much HP, you're just like, add more beaks, and you just hit decimate, and you're like four Aviar's beaks, and your skill cap everything else, and you're like, yeah, it's just funny.
of everything.
So yeah, Wind hasn't really gotten like anything that it needed, but it didn't really need that much in the first place. So I think Wind's fine. Um, so here's the thing about Light. Let's move on to Light if you're willing to.
Let's do it. Actually, can I make one quick second?
Sure.
Uh, the draconic weapon, not that amazing
It
for win.
was it a spear or a staff?
The staff
Yeah, I'm.
that
It's
that shields you and removes a debuff from you as a CA.
yeah. I remember it being like something that I bought and then didn't use
Yeah.
because it turns out that Wynn's actually pretty good at defense now, thanks to well this guy, the cat man.
Yeah, Win's my solo Yubaha HL character because like cats just makes it so that everything's earthed and now everything doesn't hurt anymore.
Hmm. I mean, there's also this like 800-pound gorilla, and by gorilla I mean a monkey. Like she does a lot of work too. So a lot of
She's out
ca-
to put in there.
Oh, what was that?
She's the other character I put in that team.
Yeah. So like between the tools that Wind came into the year with, they didn't really need anything more. So yeah, there you go. All right. Moving on to Light. So Light, if you were Magna, you were bored. I'm gonna be very frank about this.
Oh
Like
yeah, indefinitely.
this grid had not changed in like 3 or 4 years, and then you were desperate for meter, you were desperate for multi attack. If you had Grand Jean from last year, you were just like, if you were Magna, you're just like, I'm not doing anything with the third button. I press the button and I don't get any extra damage because like it was capped out. You were just done. There was a brief period of excitement when it came to the what was it, the Metatron bow a while ago, but then people went back to swords when Cosmo Sword was there. So it was
Yeah.
just like, oh,
Sometimes you didn't even cap even with the new multiplier.
yeah. So, yeah, yeah, it was a sad time, but so there have been a few things that helped Light a lot this year, and I'm pretty glad for them. Number one, so they got a very good character who doesn't require you to invest a huge amount of like resources into. Like you didn't have to spark a grand character to get Ilsa. Ilsa's great. She came out
Ah,
earlier this year. She came out pretty much at the same time as Zeta Uncap, and
because,
she,
because of the spaghetti syndrome.
mm-hmm, and she she does a lot, like a lot. Um, anyway, so yeah, she gives multi attack to Light. She gives Chaser to Light. She has a lot going for her, and she actually does kind of fundamentally change how Light works because she works well with an existing tool, Zoe. Zoe does a huge amount of buffing for your team, but she doesn't give anybody any kind of multi attack except for herself. Like there, but she required somebody to buff her constantly. That's Ilsa.
Yeah,
So
pretty good.
I'm so glad Ilsa was printed this year. Um, all right, and then came the biggest bomb that happened, which was over here. Let's let's go find. There we go. This is a pretty ridiculous EO bomb team. So EO got her uncap, and
It's
this
pretty good.
this button became something that you build entire teams around. Just this one button, Flowery 7. Like,
Do you have the picture? Do you have the picture on deck?
do I have it on deck? Let me see. Let me just add it real quick while we talk about this. All right, pick. So talk about how you've been using Flowery 7, DJ, while I dig this thing up.
All right. So after they uncapped EO, I used her in the light as my light for Lucilius. I cleared most of my trials. I cleared actually about 7 of the trials.
By accident.
Uh huh. So things that they did to EO, they gave her a fourth skill that allows her, which is literally what's it called, lumberjack skill 1, but OD. So anytime you cast 5 skills after it, you cast a flowery 7 on reaction. On top of that, if you CA with it, you also cast flowery 7 on
There it
reaction.
is. I put it up. There we go. Perfect.
You found it. So
I
yeah, she does the big damage. She also her heal turned into a yellow button, so it makes it more full auto friendly.
that part I don't
Gets
really care
pretty
about.
good.
Like if you're doing EO things, you're usually not doing them on full auto because the character actually requires you to press buttons in a certain order
We're
based on her
using full
meter.
auto.
hmm This character is not full auto friendly as you'd think, even though they turned her green skill yellow. What she is she's like a hard content machine. She's a V2 machine. She really works well with the astral weapon that they gave Light this year, the Rongominiad, because hey, she's really good at keeping her own HP really high, and she giving her skill cap is
Her
pretty
HP.
funny. It's pretty funny.
Oh, don't forget the proving grounds earlier, this like 2 months ago or 1 month ago or whatever.
Where it was just about like doing as much EO as possible.
Let's just put a skill arts on in light.
Hmm.
Yeah, EO loves this.
Oh yeah, if you want to do the new claw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been using Luo's horn, the new dragon weapon. Um,
Tilt
technically they're
meter.
called ancestral weapons. So let me just be very specific about that. The ancestral weapons that drop from the sixth dragon advent. It's fine. The supplemental damage is noticeable. The multi attack rate up is welcome, but harder to notice.
Welcome.
Um, Light's draconic weapon is kind of forgettable because Light's just so good
The
at living
katana, isn't it?
anyway. However, I will say this: I'm really impressed with the Pillar of Flame. I really the new Metatron weapon. I needed this. I needed this in my life.
All right, so let's just upgrade the bow.
It's so much
Yeah,
better
that's
than
about
the
it.
bow. It's really sad.
Like you run one Metatron bow because that's all you need because they have the same stamina multiplier. You just want to you're just trying to max cap, try and get to cap of
100%
crits.
crit. Like, whew. So Light actually got a bunch of new toys via this, like different ways to play it. Um, and then uh, one of its worst characters, or at least traditionally worst characters. She wasn't actually that bad, but people remembered her being bad. She got a
Oh,
5 star.
good.
Her 5 star is really good. Like
I haven't used it yet, but I've seen what it can do.
I use this character a lot. She's good. I love her.
Good.
So De La Fee was in June, and then another character who provided you a different way to play was provided in July. Unfortunately, she's limited. So
Mia.
EO and Rosamia, um, the two like game changers really. This character's great. I love this character. She's so fun. You just reactively just throw out giant nukes. You're like, oh, you've activated my trap card. You hit me? Oh, you tried to hit me. Nope. It's so good. She's so fun. I love
Yeah,
her.
I use her too because she gives meter.
She gives a lot of things. She gives them meter too. She's so generous.
Yeah, at the cost of you being able to double CA with her. That's nice.
It's a fair trade. You do that on Sturm and like Tsubasa and stuff like that all the time. You just like, sure, have the dot. Oh, jeez. But yeah, Summer Rosemi is so much fun as a character.
There's one character that was released this year for Lights that's just really funny for me.
Who's that?
Uh, New Gen.
Remember when I was demonstrating the new gen loop? Like, so here's the thing: is
New
that
Gen was funny to me.
yeah,
Not gonna.
you triple attack and like, guaranteed, and then you CA, and then you triple attack and then you CA. New gen was a good addition. I like them. I like them a lot. Uh, remember how we had like these big expectations of new Percival at the beginning of the year? It's like, oh yeah, he has crests, he does all of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
He didn't change anything. I put him in the back. I put him in the back line for his passive. Now that's it. That's what I get. His
You know what? You know what new Purple does.
what's that?
You now have a reason why some of those move names in Granblue verse exist.
Great.
And by that
Like
I
Lord
mean Lord
Strike.
Strike.
It's just Lord Strike.
It's just Lord Strike.
So that's pretty much light in a nutshell. Like their astral was great. Their draconic is unnecessary because like just it, in so many forms, Light just has all of the hit points it needs. Like even in Primal, like Primal, they got the well, okay, you do have to pay for your Primal
That
HP
one,
now.
that one's like what 30 gold moons?
It's 30 gold moons for the
Yeah,
Taming Sari.
that's a pretty good weapon though.
Anyway, anything else to say about Light?
None I can think of.
All right, let's go to Dark then. So
Oh man. All
Dark
right.
came into the year crazy. Dark came into the year crazy because end of 2019 we get Shalem, right?
Yes, that
That's
character's really good.
that character is something. Let's go take a look. So here's the thing about Dark. Like we were talking about how Earth is very reliant on limited characters. Dark is not. It's just that its limited characters are just so much crazier than its regular characters. Like Vazaraga. Vazaraga's an awesome character. I love this character. He does
They
so
have
much work.
to work around Vazaraga twice during V2 starts.
Yeah, they had to rebalance Vazaraga around unintended uses of him being invincible. Like Shalem had like a lot of defense, a huge amount of offense. Like this character does so much, so much, so
And
much. Like the only thing that she doesn't do is give herself multi-attack and chaser. That's it. That's what she doesn't do.
oh well, there's other characters for that part.
Right. Because I don't have Ray personally, but Ray is also crazy.
Just make the foe not attack.
Oh, they
Not
attack.
not
It just does zero
damage.
damage.
That's also what was it? Let's make this other person double strike. Ray's pretty good.
Yeah, it's like this is the thing. I said she doesn't give herself double attack and chaser or multi attack and chaser. She does. Shalem, going back to Shalem, it's right there. I keep
Oops.
forgetting about it. That's all.
It's just expected at this point. Let's be honest.
Like our zodiac for this year was Vikala. She gives her like she has a field that gives everybody um hype, and then she gives herself. Guess what? She gives herself chaser and multi attack. When the field's up, she triple attacks.
The call is really great. I love Vicky
This character's great. This character's great, great, great.
in different ways. I love her.
Oh, she's so good. Um, and then in May, there is where is this character? Oh wait, she's in my monk team. There she is. One of the most ridiculous non-limited characters they've ever printed, with significant drawbacks, admittedly. Like
Well,
she
you know
will,
what? This one turn's really good.
she really does just fall over at the hint of like vaguely hard content. Uh, but hey, guess what? She always triple attacks. She gives herself chaser
And double strike.
and double strikes and assassinates. It's like okay, all right, Predator.
40% of her health,
Th-
which doesn't matter. She was gonna die anyways.
Thanks,
She has
lady.
3% reduced defense.
I haven't actually taken her crit notes just because she always caps anyway. So it's like, what's the point?
No point if you're always critting.
What a character. So
Critting cap.
the thing is that she didn't really fundamentally change how Dark played though. She just made it better at what it was already doing, because like she combos with Ray, she combos with Near and Death. Like the near death experience. Um, one, I love the name of that team, but two, you have Near in the back here. I actually took out Near specifically because I was using this team for Grand Sky Rumble, and for all the things that Near does, she doesn't have melee specialty. But anyway, it's like you death Nero out. Um, you like do Zoe things. You make it so that Predator's invincible anyway. You just there's so many things that you do with this character, and she just like spits out damage on a Narmale level. It's crazy.
With Chaser because also you're having the near effect field out.
Welcome to Dark. Here's your multi attack, and here's your chaser. I mean that comment It's very true because I mean
Very accurate.
they rebalanced to Olivia this year. They gave her multi attack and chaser, and like I don't even use that character. She's really good.
Oh, I use that character. She's ridiculous. She's always capping for me.
Where do
Ne-
I have a team
never
with her
gets
on it?
she
There it
never
is.
gets
There she is. I
because
found her. I
of
still have
Black
a
Knight.
team. I still have a team with her on it. It's like, hey, look, triple attack rate, damage cap boosted, bonus dark damage. Welcome to Dark. Here's your triple attack and your chaser. Jeez.
That thing's also like almost pretty much permanent as long as she never gets hit twice.
3 times.
3 times.
She
Well,
gets
she doesn't get hit.
she gets 2 hits. Yeah, like that's the thing about Dark is that it's just so crowded at the top. You can just choose not to use some ridiculous characters, and you're just doing fine. Um, and then so what they recently got was this Orchid uncap, and guess what? Guess what she gives DJ?
Parazonium.
It's multi attack and chaser.
Unspellable multi attack.
I guess this is Dark's identity now. You just multi attack with chaser because it's like you look at um their astral weapon. Their astral weapon gives you more damage on multi attacks.
And I'm like, I saw that and I'm like, well, Six loves this. Most of Dark loves this.
There's so many characters in Dark who just automatically double or triple attack. Vite, like it's a long list.
Olivia now.
And when you raise
Oh,
the cap on multi attacks, each of those attacks, their chaser goes up too.
yeah.
Like what can they do to Narmea next month that will actually like make a dent in this? I don't know, but like
I don't know.
she already has multi attack and chaser. What could they give her, DJ?
I'll leave it at that.
But yeah, like Dark also is one of the best defensive elements now because of the existence of things like. So it already had Summer Zoe. I don't even use Summer Zoe. I haven't used her in like 2 years. Death is like Death is not really for defense. Sorry. You use her to kill near and then give them minus defense for your 2 turns of invincibility with Summer Zoe. But like Ray is pretty good on defense if you actually play her for defense. Shalem is really good on defense. Vikala's really good on defense. Like, have you
There's
actually experienced Vikala um, in Bluecilius, DJ?
no because I don't run her as my human slot.
Who's your human? Is it Black Knight?
Right.
That's fair. I will spend the entire fight with my MC's Dispel on cooldown waiting to Dispel because Vikala just keeps dodging things and dispelling. It's really funny. It's so funny. But yeah, like Dark is so good on defense. It got also one of the strongest ancestral weapons. This spine, you're gonna see it everywhere in a day.
Oh man, more CA damage when I have high health and also has stamina.
Not just it has stamina, it gives you 10% meter on CA when it's your offhand in when it's just in your hands as a Crusaor. Like
What other weapon does that, Dom?
a lot of them. Gottfried did it.
Correct.
Let's see here, Windhose.
This is the one I was getting at.
Another of the ones that yeah we keep talking about. Hi there. I'm I'm Windhose. Oh jeez.
Yeah, weapon pushed me to I believe 3 buttons without strike time.
I've been on 2 buttons for a while. I wonder if I'm on 1 button now. Anyway, ugh. Dark got like essentially 4 characters. Well, 3 characters, two rebalances, and yeah, like Dark could do everything.
They also changed the way you can play Dark Magna.
That's true. because Dark also got one of the best um, Magna 2 upgrades.
So Zachariah, it's pretty nice. It's actually really nice. It's literally a thimble before Dark Magna, which before Dark Magna you just run staffs and you splash in claws, or you just do go all in claws.
Yeah. Um, you can actually with this weapon do singleton. You can do um, like the Anubis staff really well in Dark Magna now. So, just pretend this is full of like Dark Magna things instead of just random like thrown in there because I had them stuff. Oh my goodness.
See, it's not bad either because your other harp was like what, the Keelan harp.
Mhm. Man, I'm just looking at this weapon grid. It's like this Ultimate Claw's not even doing anything. I should take it out.
Do you need the multi attack on this thing?
Look at this team. It's Vicky 6 Predator. No, the answer is no.
I mean, you can wait. What's your cap up on your
It's one foe
Opus?
attack, which means that
Oh yeah,
it
you
doesn't.
don't need this claw
Yeah,
at
the
all.
Claw of Terror is taking that spot. All right, well, I guess I'm throwing in a Parazonium or something. There, go. At least it has more attack.
Anyways,
Oh, dark. Oh, dark.
Tark's always the thing I go back to. I'm like this element keeps getting better,
They barely
and it's
got
already
better this year. It was too good already.
got even better.
Well, then again, that's only because we're not counting Shalem, because she came out on like what, December 31st, December 28th. It was one of those two.
One of those, her and Noah.
Her and Noah, and then technically Vicky. Oh, so
They're
anyway,
pretty good.
that's where we stand with each of these elements. Like, where would you rank the most fun element for you right now? Which one? Which do you have the most fun with?
I have the most fun with. I still have fun with lights, but that's because I really love Noah EO combo.
Noah EO is so dumb. I have that at so many of my teams too. Let's see here. All right, so this team has no Noah EO. This team also has no Noah EO. Here's Noah and here's EO. This is my Fedial team. Here's Noah with EO in the back. This was my old Fedial team, which let someone die before EO came in. Here's Noah EO, and here's Noah. Oh, no EO on this one. This one is sorry. This team is specifically designed to go into your PVHLs at 50% and stun them.
Thank you for that, by the way.
But yeah, in terms of this year, I have a lot more fun playing Fire than I used to. Light also, but like with Aoidosyntheria, with Zeta, um, I'm gonna ignore Mimlemel's existence right now. Here's Valentine, Scatha, like all of my teams have something that came out pretty much this year in order to just make them a lot more fun. Uh, the existence of Lumberjack and Monk also changed a lot of how I play Fire. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
was just like bandit tycooning all the time. Anyway, um, so basically right now the most fun I'm having is like Fire, Earth, and Dark. Light is a lot more fun than it used to be. Wind is exactly the same for me as it was before. Uh, Valentine's Grimnir is pretty fun, but like, yeah. And then if I didn't love water already, then I would just hate water right now.
Fair.
The good
Mine
thing
would,
is I love water.
yeah. I think my list goes light, fire, dark, earth. I have a bias towards because they printed a new character for me.
Just for you, it's Diatha.
Yeah, wind's boring for me though. But I play it because it's strong.
The good thing is Sochi exists. We just like she's been getting better as new content is created, and so
Yeah,
she
I don't
just
have
keeps
that
getting
character
better. Yeah,
though.
but she's a 2019 character, but still, like, she just does a lot. Anyway,
Sure, what characters are actually getting updated soon?
All right, so the
I
characters
forget
that are getting
who
updated
it is.
next month, we got UL, who desperately needs it.
Who needs that.
In
She's my
water,
star.
it's going to be Onrei because Onrei has become someone who you only use for one turn luchador.
Because Phalanx doesn't work on like new fights.
hmm Um, there's also Summer Europa because Summer Europa is basically a nothing character. It's not that
You'd
she's
rather use
bad.
her normal version.
It's not that she's bad. It's just that she has nothing that makes you remember what she does. You're just like, oh, and then you sort of move on and go back to using regular Europa. um, in Earth, it's Siegfried. We've talked about Siegfried,
Hmm.
where like he's always been good, but he's always like fourth or fifth on the list of characters you would use for certain spots. So he's just not good at any particular thing enough to make you put him
In
in
a
a team.
game where you can only bring 3 characters.
hmm Winds is Summer Jean.
All right.
Lights has Tui for one of them, and we've talked about the problems of Tui that you can't paralyze.
And then you're always critting anyway, so
Well, you're always critting if you've gone Magnitude Pillar of Flame. And then the character getting updated, I'll have to look up again, but
this is Mary.
it's what? Oh, Christmas Mary. Yeah, that's right. Another character who's just been forgotten by time. And then for
So
Darkest Narmea,
I don't even think that one was by time. No one really used her because
I love Christmas Mary. She's like that cat who sometimes brings home bird heads and like dead mice. That's how I remember her. She's like, I found a rock. Thanks, Mary. I found a feather, guys. Thanks, Mary. Here's an orb. Thanks,
woohoo.
Mary.
Anyways, and then we said Narame is for dark, and was there? I forget who was the other person for dark because it was two
That's
for
it.
each element.
No, it wasn't. It was one for
Oh,
each
was it?
element.
Okay.
It was one for each element and two Eternals. The two Eternals that people said needed the most help.
Uh, okay.
Anyway, so that's the state of the elements as we see them for what's happened to them in 2020. Um, like the Magna changes were really big this year. They brought things in line between Magna and Primal in a pretty big way.
I mean, for a
So
long time, it was always so Magna caught up to 120, so they made Primal 140. Now we have actually Magna at 140 as well. These help like keep things in balance in check.
like the only thing basically that Magna is missing in a lot of elements is Garrison. Like if you really want to go deep on hard content, uh, then Garrison is like the truth. And as of right now, this second, Magna doesn't have access to it. Otherwise, Magna can do pretty much anything that Primal does, pretty much,
Yeah.
depending on your
Yeah.
element. But it's like it's been a good year for Magna. It's been an all right year for Primal. They've added a bunch of decent toys, but it's like play how you want. That's basically the lesson of what we're talking about. Unless you're water. If you're water, you're still stuck.
In both ways actually.
Yeah, it's not great. Don't worry, I love water. I love you, water.
You're the you're designated water player.
Yeah, no one else wants to bring water to Lucilius for some reason.
I mean, I can, but I already ran my 5.
For some reason, nobody wants to bring the boring live forever teams because I don't have the crit grid. I'm still using Fimbles. Do you remember what year Fimble came out, DJ?
2016. It was broken when it came out, so
It
they
was. They adjusted it. They were like, "Oh, the numbers on stamina are too high." But it's just like
I mean, 2016 was a year.
the most modern weapon I have in this thing is a Meteora and Amino Habakiri. All right, you know what? You know what, DJ? I'm finally getting that water Excalibur. No, I'm not. I'm not getting
Alright.
Excalibur in water. Oh, jeez. Anyway, so this is 2020. Um, as of next week, we'll be talking about what will we be talking about? We'll be talking about the Tower of Babel. We'll be talking about the end part of Unite and Fight, which really won't really. We never talk about that anymore. We'll talk about how
Actually,
great the Anvil is.
we won't be talking about Tower Battle. Tower Battle's November 25th.
Oh Lord, time is going so weirdly. So next week is basically another blank week for us to use as, hey, I'm gonna just give away codes. How about that?
Yeah,
We'll give away
let's do
codes.
that.
And then yeah, then we'll be talking about how stuff is still coming. Maybe we'll actually get the announcement of the December collab by then. Maybe.
I don't think so. I really think that we're just gonna get it during the broadcast.
It's gonna be announced a little bit before that, I think. I think we're gonna be getting it in the month of November. We'll figure out when it gets announced. All right, so anyway, episode 201. Episode 201, I'll give away codes. We can hang out. People can ask questions. We'll make it a pretty chillax episode of Granblue Radio.
Remember when we said this is gonna be a short one?
They're all short ones, DJ.
You're right.
All right. So, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. And yeah, stick around, and we'll be giving away codes on our Thursday night. Thanks for
All right.
watching. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you
Later.
then. Bye, folks.